Okay, so in the previous class we have gone through the common base configuration and common emitter configuration. In the next class we will go with the application of BJT. The third point that we will be going with is the common collector configuration. So there are three different configurations we have seen. Okay, so common base, common emitter, and common collector. These two we have gone in the previous class. So next we will see is common collector configuration. Okay, so here as the name suggests it is common collector. That means the collector terminal will be common to both input side and output side. Okay, so for this uh, we are like whatever configuration is there, we are going to have the collector terminal common between the input side and the output side. Okay, so the configuration in that case is given in the figure. So here, so if it is PNP transistor, so collector terminal, that is this one, so collector terminal will be common between the input side and output side. So one thing we need to uh, consider here is, first of all we need to make sure that this is the emitter junction. Okay, so this is our emitter junction and this one is our collector junction. Okay, so always this collector junction, we need to bias this collector junction in a reverse bias case and this emitter junction in forward bias case. Okay, so the transistor action is basically based on whatever configuration. This is common collector, but our mode of operation will be active mode, cutoff mode, and saturation. So we will be biasing this such that it should be operating in active, cutoff, and saturation modes. Okay, so we will bias these two junctions accordingly. So in case of PNP, this is the configuration, this is the biasing configuration, and in case of NPN transistor, this is the configuration we need to biasing conditions that we will be applying. And here the collector terminal is common between both the between input and output terminal. Okay, so here input will be our base current and output will be our emitter current. So here also input will be base current and emitter will be the output current. Okay, so in case of plotting the graph, we will see the input characteristics. So input characteristics we will be plotting with respect to the voltage, like whatever voltage is there, we uh, this input voltage is here, like this is suppose in case of NPN transistor is there, if it is NPN transistor, so whatever positive this VCB, so VBC, we will be having the VBC function of the output current, that is IE, input current, that is IB, and also the output voltage, the voltage that will be between emitter and collector terminal. So VCE, basically VCE will be the voltage. So input characteristics will be with respect to this, like we will be plotting IB, input current, with respect to VBC, such that for a constant VCE. Okay, so for constant VCE we will be plotting IB versus PC curve. Okay, in case of output characteristics, we will be plotting the output current. Okay, so your output current will be IE. It will be again the function of input current and the output voltage in terms of the collector to emitter voltage is there. So VCE. Okay, so this indicate like this will be the function BCE, that will be the function of IB and VCE. So here we will be plotting IB curve versus BC for fixed VCE. Okay, in this output characteristics we will be plotting IE versus VCE plot for fixed IB. Okay, so these two curves we basically need in case of common collector. So we will go with this is the symbolic representation. Okay, so same we will be having the symbol. So this is the symbol of PNP, and we will be biasing accordingly whatever biasing is there here. So we will be biasing such that the emitter junction is going to be forward bias and collector junction needs to be in reverse bias. Okay, that is our motive to once the transistor is going to be working in active region. Okay, similarly if it is cutoff mode and saturation mode, the similar configuration will be there. Okay, so how the current will be derived we will see. So we have already seen like in case of common base configuration, the output current was IC given by alpha times IE plus ICO. Okay, so this was the current configuration in case of common base configuration. Okay, and also we know by KCL IE is equals to IC plus IB. Okay, so this was the current equation in case of common base, but in case of common collector, if it is common collector, so the current gain in case of common collector is in common collector current gain is given by gamma. Okay, so alpha is the current gain in common base, and in common emitter the current gain is beta. So at that time the IC is given by like beta times IB plus ICEO. Okay, so this was the case in case of common emitter case. Okay, so in common collector the current gain will be gamma. So if gamma is the current gain, then the output current that will be IE. So output current will be function of gamma times the input current. So input current is IB. Okay, plus the leakage current that will be flowing. So this leakage current will be I uh, collector to emitter, collector to emitter ICEO. Okay, so from here we can just see like it is I. This is the case when base is open. Okay, so it will be from IEC. It will be IECO when base is open. So it is IEC. It will be IECO. Okay, so this should be the current relation basically. Okay, so output current, that is emitter current, will be function of gamma times beta IB, that is base current, plus some leakage current. So we need to represent whatever common base current relation was there or common emitter current relation was there. We need to represent it in the form of this so that we can get the value of gamma and what is the value of leakage current, that is IECO. Okay, so we need to find these two parameters. So we can go with any of the previous configurations that we have gone through. So we have gone through common base and common emitter. So just go with the common base only. So we need to derive this expression in this form. That means the IE, that is emitter current, in the form of base current. Okay. So whatever coefficient will be there, that will be your gamma function. Okay. So we need to just proceed by using two equations. We need to put this value of IC. So in IC we will be placing, so IC will be IE minus IB. Okay, IC is equals to IE minus IB. From this equation we will be putting into this. So here alpha times IE plus ICO. Okay, so we need to proceed like we make it here. So IE 1 minus alpha is equals to IB plus ICO, or IE is equals to IB time IB divided by 1 minus alpha plus ICO divided by 1 minus alpha. Okay, so this was the case. This we have derived from the common base configuration mode. Okay, so suppose this is the equation number 1, and then this is the equation number 2. So by equation 1 and 2, if we compare 1 and 2, okay, so if we compare 1 and 2, we can just see IE and IE is equals to IB, and it is gamma, it is 1 minus alpha. Okay, that means the gamma value will be equals to 1 minus alpha. Okay, so here from by comparing these two, equation 1 and equation 2, we can get like gamma is equals to 1 minus 1 by 1 minus alpha. Okay, and also we can see like uh, the IECO is equals to ICO divided by 1 minus alpha. Okay, this is the relation we can get. So in case of uh, collector, uh, common collector case, the relation between the current and input current and output current will be given with respect to gamma, and that gamma will be defined in terms of alpha, like 1 by 1 minus alpha. Okay, and also we can get like the leakage current in that case. So ICO was basically in microampere leakage current, but it is 1 minus alpha, and here we know like alpha is given by like 0.95 to 0.98. Generally this is the range of alpha. So in that case we can see like if this we will be putting this IECO will be very greater than ICO. Okay, so this we can just correlate from here. So this relation is similar to the one that came into common emitter case. It is similar to the expression that we have derived in common emitter case. So we just also proceed with the common emitter configuration mode. So suppose this is the case, IC is equals to beta times IB plus ICEO. Okay, so this was the case. Okay, so if we want to proceed, we can just proceed with the KCL equation, that is IE equals to IC plus IB. So again we will be putting the IC value from this equation, so it will be IE minus IB is equals to beta times IB plus ICEO. Okay, so from there we can just get like IE will be equals to 1 plus beta times IB plus ICEO. So if we compare equation, so this is 3, so compare equation 1 and 3. So if we compare equation 1 and 3, we can get like the gamma will be equals to 1 plus beta. Okay, so gamma will be 1 plus beta. So from here if we compare, so gamma will be 1 plus beta, and I IECO is equals to ICEO. Okay, that means the leakage current in case of common emitter and the common collector will be same. Okay, same leakage current will be flowing in that case. So that will be, and this leakage current will be equals to nothing but equals to ICO divided by 1 plus 1 minus alpha. That will be very high compared to ICO. Okay, so this is the relation. So we can just compare it like the gamma is equals to 1 by 1 minus alpha is equals to 1 plus beta. Okay, so this is the relation between alpha, beta and gamma. Okay, so once we know the value of alpha, we can calculate the value of beta, and once we know any of the value, we can get the gamma also. Okay, so this is the relation between alpha, beta and gamma. So this relation is important basically. Okay, and also we need to plot the curve that is IE emitter current versus the VCE plot. Okay, for fixed IB. So we already know, like in common emitter configuration mode, in common emitter we have already plotted this graph. Okay, so this is the graph of common emitter configuration. Okay, but in common emitter also we have plotted the output characteristics as IC versus VCE. But in case of common collector, we need to plot IE versus VCE. We need to plot IE versus VCE for different IB value. Okay, or a fixed IB. For a fixed IB, we need to plot IE versus VCE. Okay, just we can write like for a fixed IB value, we need to plot IE versus VC. But we know IC is equals to alpha times IE. Okay, and where alpha is approximately equals to 1, it is implies like IC is equals to approximately equals to IE. Okay, so this is the case. Okay, if this is the case, that means when we are going to plot IE versus VCE in the common emitter case, this is the common emitter output and input characteristics. We have already plotted in common emitter, we have already plotted IC versus VCE, and from here we know like IC is equals to IE. That means in common emitter case, if we will be replacing IC with IE, then whatever the plot is there, the same plot will be there for the common collector also. So the output characteristics of common collector will be nothing but the output characteristics of common emitter case with replacing the IC with IE. So it is implies. So from there we can just note like we can just note the output characteristics. The output characteristics of common emitter is similar to the output characteristics of common collector by replacing IC with IE. Okay, so in output characteristics of common emitter, if we are going to replace IC with IE, then the same then the same output characteristic will be for the common collector also. Okay, so in case of common collector characteristics, output characteristics, here ICEO is nothing but the value of, we have just proved like ICEO is nothing but IECO. Okay, so whatever leakage current is there, the similar leakage current will be here also. So I will, when IB is equals to 0, then also there will be some IC, or we can say like it is IE in case of common collector, it will be some leakage current will be flowing even if the IB is equals to 0. So in the common emitter case, we have already proved that. Okay, so this was the leakage current. But in case of common base configuration, if common base configuration is there, so output characteristics was like, what if IE is equals to 0? At that time, the IC was a 0. Okay, so when this is the case, when IE is equals to 0, then IC is equals to 0, IC was 0 in case of common base configuration. Output characteristics we are plotting, so it will be like between IC and the input that is there, V BE voltage is there. So if we are going to plot, this is between V CE. Okay, so if in case of common base, the output characteristics was given like when IE, that is emitter, is open at that time. So that this plot is basically when this is like ICBO. ICBO is like uh, collector to base current when emitter is open. At that time, this will be almost zero, almost zero. Why? Because this ICBO, that is ICO, is in microampere. Okay, but IC was in milliampere, so it will be looking like when emitter current is zero. At that time, the ICBO, that is ICO, will be in microamperes, so it will be looking like a zero current. IC will be zero at the time. But in case of common emitter and common collector, there will be some current flowing even if the IB, that is input current, is zero. If input current is zero, then also there will be some leakage current will be flowing. That leakage current will be a significant value, that will not be equals to zero. Okay, so it is beta times this value. So beta is more than 100. So beta range value is around 100. Okay, so it is ICO times or 100 times ICO will be there. So there will be some leakage current. And also the saturation region will be defined by the value like this is VCE. So left side of this VCE will be your saturation region. So it in this region the collector junction will be reverse bias. Okay, and generally this VCE in case of BJT is 0.2 volt. Okay, so if we are going to reduce the VCE less than 0.2 volt, then the collector junction will be reverse bias. Sorry, the emitter and collector junction will be forward bias. In that case, both the junctions will be forward bias, so it will be reaching into the saturation region. Okay, so this plot is basically for 0 microampere, then 10 microampere. As we are increasing the base current, the collector current will be increasing. Okay, so this was the output characteristics. And the input characteristics will be this way, like looking like a diode, but it is not exactly a diode characteristics, but it look like a diode characteristics. Okay, in case of common collector. So this is all about the common collector. Okay, and one point is there, we will be just summarizing all the configurations. Okay, so we just want to have a share. Just a minute. So we have a summarize configuration. So we can just summarize this concept like there are different properties, and we can just in terms of like we are going to operate the common base, common collector, and common emitter configurations. So all these configurations will be helpful for designing an amplifier. So by using a BJT, we will be designing an amplifier. So what different properties these different configurations gives, that we will see into the next lectures, when we will be explaining the BJT working as an amplifier. And so these three configurations will be the most frequently used configurations. In that, the common emitter, all these configurations have their properties, and based on the input resistance and output resistance of these configurations, and these configurations are used for different applications. Okay, so basically, in case of common emitter configuration, we will be obtaining a phase reversal. That means a phase shift. Whatever input we are providing, the output is 180 phase shift. So that all these conflicts we will be saying next when we will be explaining the uh, transistor working as an amplifier. Okay, so before going uh, to the transistor operating as amplifier, we will see one more concept that is called early effect. Okay, so in BJTs, we encounter with the early effect. So we will see like what is basically this early effect is there, and what will be the effect of this early effect on our current gains. Okay, so we have just seen there are current gain, or this current gain is also called as amplification factor. So in case of BJTs, these current gains are defined as amplification factor. Okay, so we will just go with like current gain. So current gain is defined in different configurations, so alpha, beta, and gamma. So alpha is the current gain in common base configuration, beta is the current gain in common emitter configuration, and gamma is the gain in common collector configuration. Okay, so its expression will be given like alpha is, in this case, the output current divided by input current. So if it is common base, the input current will be common emitter current. Okay, if the base beta is there, in case of beta, common emitter is there, so the output will be collect IC. Okay, and the input will be your IB. In case of common collector, gamma will be the output current. So output current is emitter current here in case of common collector, and the input current your base current. Okay, so here suppose we, and also by KCL we know like emitter current is given by IC plus IB. Okay, so we will just see what is early effect and how this early effect is going to affect our current gains. Okay, so current gain will be affected by the early effect. So we will just analyze so how this early effect is going to uh, uh, affect the current gain of the transistors. Okay, so in early effect, basically there are two different uh, effects are there, that is base width modulation. So we will go with, so because of early effect, there will be base width modulation taking place. Okay, so first of all we will be going with the base width modulation. So just like channel length modulation in case of MOSFETs, BJT suffer from base width modulation. So what is base width modulation? We will just see. So in case of base width modulation, suppose we have a PNP transistor. Okay, so we have a PNP transistor, and PNP transistor, this is emitter junction and this is collector junction. Okay, so what we do is we basically bias such that the emitter junction should be forward bias. So we will be connecting this way, and collector junction is reverse bias. Okay. So suppose this is V, this is emitter, base and collector. So it will be VEB, and this is VBC. Okay. So if this is the biasing, we will just see this is base width modulation. So base width modulation, that means we are going to uh, change, or with respect to the application of applied forward and reverse bias voltages, there will be change in width of the base region. So if this is the MOSFET, PNP, and this is the base width. So this is the base width, total base width. But as we are going to apply the reverse bias, we are going to make the collector junction reverse bias, then what happens? This, because of the reverse biasing, so this is forward bias. So this is forward bias, GE. Emitter junction is forward bias and collector junction is reverse bias. So if it is forward bias, the depletion width will be very less in case of forward bias emitter junction. Okay, so depletion width will be less, but in case of reverse bias, the depletion width will be high. Okay, so here this will be the depletion width. Okay, so as the depletion width on the collector junction side is very high, so this depletion will be tending towards the base region also. So this was the effective, or you can say this is the total width of the base, but because of the reverse biasing, this much of width of this base region is going to be occupied by the depletion charges. Okay, so this is depletion region. Okay, so this has been occupied by the depletion region. Then the effective base width that is remaining is this. Okay, so this will be the effective base width, and this is the W dash. Suppose this is the there, so this will be your depletion width. So this is depletion width. Okay, so we can see, so this is the case when JC is reverse bias. So when we have applied the collector junction as a reverse bias, then this will be the case. So here W dash is your depletion width, W effective is effective base width, WB is the initial base width. Okay, so after applying the reverse bias, that means after JC is reverse bias, the overall width of the base will be the effective base width, that will be the remaining base width, that will be equals to initial base width minus the depletion region. Okay, so this will be the case. It is implies like, we can just see like, due to due to application of reverse bias to the collector junction, effective base width region decreases. Okay, so this was the conclusion. Like when we are going to reverse bias the collector junction, the effective base region of the base region, effective base width of the base region is going to reduce. Okay, so what will be the effect of this? We will just see. So we can just conclude the point. Like if we are increasing the V CB or B, we are just going to, suppose we are going to increase, so mod of this value, that means we are going to increase in positive side. If we are going to increase the positive base to collector voltage, then JC will be more and more reverse bias. Okay, so if JC is more and more reverse bias, that means the effective uh, base width is going to reduce. So if effective base width is going to reduce, this will result in less recombination, because the base width is less. That means less number of charge carriers will be available and less number of charge carriers will be combining. So whole electron hole pair will be combining in less number of quantity. So less recombination will be there. That means recombination, we can just say recombination will be reduced. Recombination will be reduced. Okay, so once recombination is reduced, so base current is because of the recombination only. When there was a recombination, the base current will be constituting. So if there is less recombination, so IB will be reducing. Okay, so if IB is going to reduce, we know like IC, we know like IE is equals to IC plus IB. So when we are going to have a reduction in IB, okay, so if IB is going to reduce, that means if IB is going to reduce, that means the IE will be IC will be increasing. Okay, because the IC will be, you can say, a constant value. Okay, so that means if IB is going to reduce, that means IC will be increasing. So if IC is going to increase, as IC is going to increase, we can just see like the alpha, that is equals to IC divided by IE. Okay, so we have alpha is equals to IC divided by IE. As the IC is going to increase, the alpha will be increasing. So from there we can say like the current gain is going to increase. That means alpha is going to increase. Okay, so this is the case in case of common base configuration. Similar effect will be there in the other also. Okay, so from there we can just see, so because of the base width, so the process of reduction of base width due to application of reverse bias to the collector junction is called base width modulation. So we can just see, due to application of reverse bias to JC, effective base width decreases. This is called, this process is called base width modulation. Base width modulation. Okay, and because of the base width modulation, the overall uh, base current is going to reduce, and because of that the direction of base current is going to increase the alpha, that is the current gain. Okay, so this is your base width modulation. So basically in base width modulation will be applying this base width modulation for different applications, and also once we are going to analyze the BJT, need to consider the effect of base width modulation also onto the circuit. And similar like we generally neglect this base width modulation, but we need to keep uh, this mind, like this can affect the overall operation of the circuit. So once we will be going with the amplifier application, we will just analyze all the concepts and we will see like how the early effect or the base rate modulation is going to affect the overall circuit of the operation. Okay, so this is uh, all about today's class. We will see the next concept, that is BJT working as an amplifier, in the next class. Okay, so till now if anyone is having any questions or doubt, you can ask.